Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for being here today to celebrate the official opening of the Mount Kessler Trailhead. I'm Allison Jumper, Park Planning Superintendent for the City of Fayetteville, and I'm standing in for Connie Edmonston, our director. She unfortunately is not able to make it tonight. She's sad that she's not here and just wanted to wish well for this event and thank everyone who's been involved. We are so excited to have this land adjacent to what will become the regional park. You see out here to your right, this is going to be the future great lawn of the regional park, and we hope to start construction on it by the end of the year. The acquisition and preservation of Mount Kessler perfectly dovetails with the development of the park. This acreage that you see back, well, just back behind this tree line, the mountain, it is going to provide a one-stop recreation area for our citizens. We will be able to offer a diverse recreational opportunity for everyone, all ages, all sizes, all abilities. And that is something that came from the community when we did our master plan back in 2000, and we're going to be able to make it happen thanks to this. We do have several people here who want to say a few words, so I'm not going to hold this up too much longer. I would like to thank the city staff who has made this possible with the construction of the trailhead, the addition of this trail behind me, the trail signs, and the planning of this event. Everybody has really pitched in, and we're excited to be here. Additionally, Harps donated some delicious watermelons, so make sure that you grab some of that before you go. Thanks again for coming. Like I said, we are just so happy to be here and to have this land, and just excited about the project. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jeremy Pate with our Development Services Department to say a few words.
Thanks everyone for coming today. As Allison mentioned, we're standing today on the site of the future Great Lawn of our regional park. In the not too distant future, we'll also be accessing Mount Kessler from a permanent trailhead. For today though, we're excited to cut a ribbon celebrating the opening of Mount Kessler, its trails, the scenic beauty, wildlife, and unique assets that we find valuable to the public. It took a lot of people to make today possible, and many of those faces of people I've met today are here to help us to celebrate officially opening up this mountain for public use. I was fortunate enough to be introduced to Mount Kessler several years ago by some trail running friends, including Allison, and I've never stopped coming back. Mount Kessler is truly a legacy acquisition. It's a place that once you visit, you really understand why Frank, why Mayor Jordan and the City Council, why the Walton Family Foundation, why OORC, FNHA, and so many others have put effort into preserving this for our future generations to enjoy it as our ancestors have and as we will, as we are today. Almost a year ago, the mayor instructed staff to begin earnest conversations with Chambers Bank, the owner of the property, about the feasibility of purchasing it. We knew we could not do it alone. We would take funding above and beyond what the city could invest. It would take a creative financing arrangement for Chambers Bank to even agree to sell it for what we could offer. However, we knew it was worth it. This amazing environmental gem on a quintessential Ozark plateau, coupled with the proximity to our 200-acre regional park, only added that much more value to the city. Ultimately, through a series of conversations with the Walton Family Foundation, they stepped up to the plate and approved a grant application for a 1-to-1 match to acquire 376 acres of this land for $3 million. I have to say quickly that I took Ryan Hale here, he's on my right. He's a program officer for the foundation, on a hike out on Mount Kessler. They're on amazing trails last fall to try and show him the incredible asset that the foundation's investment would bring to the public and why Fayetteville loves it so much. I think we planned for an hour or two just to see the property, and we ended up hiking for 4 hours, but it's something that happens here quite often. Thank you, Ryan, for taking that time to understand what makes this place special to so many Fayetteville residents. It truly is an amazing place for this city, but for this region and state as well. After securing the grant agreement and also a $300,000 commitment from the Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association, we were able to successfully negotiate the Mount Kessler acquisition with City Council's unanimous and I will say enthusiastic support. If any of you saw that City Council meeting, I think that's probably the best description I could use. Chambers Bank, who still owns 250 acres of the developable property along Cato Springs Road here to my left, was instrumental also in this project. Mr. Chambers came over himself to talk about this project. It was so important to him, and particularly Hunter Haynes, who is an avid supporter of preserving Mount Kessler, also came to the table ready to work. The Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association, as they have several times before, was willing to commit to fundraising on behalf of this important natural asset in our city, and our thanks immensely go to them as well. Frank Sharp, of course, was an advocate from the beginning, and while this is big, he's dreaming even bigger. If you haven't spoken to him, this is one piece of the pie. So much of this is possible due to his never-tiring spirit. Finally, Rob Brothers, Ryan Hale, and his team at the foundation are truly remarkable to work with. They understand commitment and trust in us to do as we say. I'm proud to be a part of this effort with their support. Behind me, as Allison mentioned, is Mount Kessler. The city now owns approximately 630 acres of contiguous land here, with close to 8 miles of trails to enjoy. Not long from now, this place will be busy with the hum of a regional park, a place for active sports, but also passive recreation and simply enjoyment of the outdoors in our environment. Today, we are celebrating the beginning of that journey. A few reminders, please make sure you sign in a trail log. Our city staff made signs and also a trail log. This is it. This is the way we keep a log of folks that are utilizing the trail. It's important not only because this is a very remote trail with not a lot of access to it should you be injured, but it's also important for our grant opportunities now and in the future to measure how we utilize our trail system and plan for the future of those. Also, the trail log allows us to know who our users are, whether you're hiking, you're biking, whether you're running, simply seeing what the mountain has to offer. It also lets us know if you're from in-state, a tourist from out of state, or a class doing research. And part of this is economic development as well. Also, please try to stay on the signed trails. We've made these signs for the 1 mile of trail we constructed to get up to the mountain, but there's also a series of trail signs up there to help you out where you're going. And then lastly, pack out what you take in. This is a beloved piece of property. We want to keep it that way, so always take out what you've brought in. With that, I'd also like to invite Ryan Hale with the Walton Family Foundation up to say a few words.
Thank you very much for having me and for having us. And my goal is to be bright and to be brief, because I know that we have much to celebrate and lots of watermelon left to eat. So again, thanks for having us. And I just want to, again, this is an opportunity to say thanks and to say thanks to the city staff. Their professionalism and their attention to detail and their passion for this project was remarkable. And you guys were really, truly a joy to work with, all the city staff. I also want to thank all who were involved in raising the awareness of Mount Kessler and its importance to the city and really more importantly to the region. Organizations like FNHA, OORC, Kessler Greenways, and so many others who worked tirelessly to really see this dream become a reality. Your collaboration and your passion is admirable, and frankly, it's contagious. As many of you know, the Walton Family Foundation has been involved in helping improve the quality of life in the region of Northwest Arkansas for many years. Alongside partners like you, all across the region, the foundation has worked to make Northwest Arkansas a destination by investing in key natural amenities, such as trails that are focused on creating access for all kinds of trail users, including cyclists, walkers, commuters, hikers, mountain bikers, runners, and lovers of nature. We believe that the most desirable communities and places offer creative amenities as well as outdoor recreation. And in 2012, our quality of life survey showed that those types of investments are very important. And in the survey, Northwest Arkansas residents told us that trails are among the region's most popular amenities and have high usage rates. These kinds of amenities, these kinds of creative amenities, places like Mount Kessler make Northwest Arkansas a great place to live, work, and play, and that benefits our economy and our culture, all while enhancing our quality of life. With the Foundation's $1.5 million matching grant, we were just one partner in making Kessler available to everyone. The partnerships that brought this from idea to reality deserve so much credit. Can we just take just a minute? I know we've given several rounds of applause, but This isn't for one person, but just for the collective, for everybody that's here. Let's just say thank you. This kind of partnership and this kind of collaboration is what we are proud to invest in. Mount Kessler certainly is a jewel for all of us now. The history here, the native flora and fauna, the incredible Ozark mountain views, and the chance to preserve it and make it publicly accessible was simply something that we just could not give up on. And now we look forward to seeing the community come together to set a vision for the long-term use of this wonderful space. This kind of collaboration that brings us all here today can make sure this project has a bright future, a future that manages Mount Kessler in an environmentally friendly way and folds this special place into a broader open space master plan and makes Fayetteville and all of Northwest Arkansas proud. Congratulations on your accomplishment. The foundation is proud to have been a partner with you. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to invite Mr. Frank Sharp to say a few words. I think a lot of you guys already know him, but come on up, Frank.
Well, thank everybody. As I walk around town, people say how happy they are about our 600-acre regional park and reserve, and I say, well, all the stars are in alignment on this, and they indeed have been. In fact, it's a constellation, I guess, a Milky Way. And years ago, when we first started, I contacted FNHA, and Margot Heinzelman, I see over here, is Pete here? Pete, yeah, and the Cox. There were really no trails except the old original Trent Trail. So we walked through the woods and talked about, they had had such a reputation of saving property that that was the first group I really wanted to contact. How many members of FNHA are here at this ceremony? Yeah, I mean, they started years ago, and with their 300,000 commitment, have continued that help with Mount Kessler. And then the city staff, about the same time, I think 2006, Connie and Allison and Matt, who used to work for Parks before he got demoted, hiked it. And again, there were no trails back then, and we talked about how wonderful it would be if this could come about. And Greg and John and GIS have been such a help, and Jeremy and Don, and the city has just, the whole staff has really been helpful over the years. And then Chambers Bank, I mean, they honored that pledge that South Pass had made of the 200 acres. And then they allowed OORC to build all those trails. Phil, I guess you did ask permission, didn't you, before? Good. No, Chambers Bank, Jeremy and JR and Johnny Chambers have been so cooperative, as had been pointed out by Jeremy. And this wouldn't have happened, again, without OORC. I mean, building those trails. They have been allies the whole time. How many OORC people are here today? See, yeah, a lot of. I won't name any names. Also, Gary Vernon of Slaughter Pen Trails has been very, very helpful. Somebody asked Bob Koch how many miles of trails they're going to build ultimately, and he said, I don't know, but it's going to be one more mile than Slaughter Pen. Okay, then the neighbors up here. It's really been a little disruptive. There's no parking, but we felt like we needed to raise awareness. And the ORC people have been coming in off Finger Road, and our Mount Kessler Greenways meeting some of the neighbors brought up that it was really getting congested on that road. So we worked out how they could park at the smokehouse and come through our place. And then if Jane Steele would give them permission to go through her place, they would then be at the trail system. And so I talked to Jane. Jane is right here. As you leave Rock City, coming through from the west side, if you leave Rock City, most of that is on Jane's place. There's the old Trent Trail that went all the way from Highway 62 to the Mount Kessler wine cellar. But then this followed an old game trail. It sort of followed the edge of the bluff. And Jane was just very helpful in allowing people to use her trail. But now we'll have a better trailhead that will wean people over on the east side now. And Eric Wales is another neighbor that allowed that. Terry Lane grew up on Kessler. She's a neighbor, and she was at our very first Mount Kessler Greenways meeting. And then there are hundreds of Mount Kessler Greenway advocates. We asked people to sign, and if they check, if they could be an advocate. And we have, I'm pushing 1,000, I imagine. A lot of people have signed up. How many Mount Kessler Greenway advocates we have here? See, just about everybody. And then also the Star Shopper, Stafford & Associates, they were indeed a star because they gave us all the typesetting. We had to let people know all these letters of support and put them in a form that people could understand what we had. And the Stafford & Associates did all of the typesetting, all the layout, all the printing at no charge at all. It was amounted to thousands and thousands of dollars. Then another group was, of course, the Walton Family Foundation, as Ryan has said. And this really does dovetail with what they want on trails, on getting people off the couch and out in the woods, and for health, and also watershed protection, protection of natural resources. And it was just really thrilling when it was announced that they were going to give a challenge to the city of Fayetteville. And then there's the city council. I see a couple right here. Anybody else? Oh, over here, yeah. Well, one thing that Sarah said at the meeting, she said, you know, one thing, the fact that the city has been very prudent and conservative and built up these reserves allow them to do something like this. And you all are really to be congratulated for having the foresight to save the money and then to use some of it to buy this. So you were great big stars in this. And I think I've got just about everybody. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. One other star in this constellation. I checked with this person a couple of years ago to be sure that this person agreed with what we were attempting. This person said that, yes, we had 110% support, but we need to figure out a way to get the money. And this person is our next speaker, Mayor Lionel Jordan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me ask you a question. Don't you just love this city? Yes, absolutely. You know, I was trying to think of something that I could say, but everything that I was going to say has pretty much been said. But I've got a few words. You know, there's a word called vision. And it's a Latin word. When you look up the word vision, it's a Latin word that says to see or to imagine, or to see with imagination. You know, if you build, and I'm in was in the building profession. I was a carpenter for many, many years. And when they would give me a set of blueprints, how many engineers, carpenters, construction folks we got here today? Yes. Now, when they show you a set of blueprints, you just don't see blueprints, do you? You see the finished product. When you see a building, you don't just see blueprints, but every time I would put a building together, I would look at how that building was going to be, not the way it was. You see, when we looked at Mount Kessler, it's not what was, but what was going to be, and now it is a reality. And I certainly know that the master of that vision certainly was none other than Frank Sharp. Thank you, Frank. My family's lived in this South End for 37 years, and we walked all over this area. Frank brought me up here when I was first on the city council, and he said, we want to preserve this. And I said, Frank, if I ever get the chance, I will help you preserve this piece of property. Well, it's taken us a little while, Frank, and we've gotten a little grayer, but we have preserved this mountain. Chambers Bank was great to work with. The Walton Family Foundation was fantastic. Ryan Hale and Rob Brothers, Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association, Bob Calk and all those that worked on this. Pete Houndsman, I thought I saw him. Pete, where are you? I know you're here somewhere. There you are. Ozark Off-Road Cyclists building the trails. I want to thank my staff. Parks and Recreation, Connie Edmiston and Allison Jumper. I want to thank Matt Mihalovich, Trails Coordinator. Thank you, Matt. I want to thank our Transportation Department because Terry Gully and his crews helped build this, or built this. Where's Terry? Thank you, Terry. Jeremy Payton, Don Marr. I tell you what about my staff that I love. I tell the staff, this is what I want to do. And the staff takes that. They take hold of whatever I want to do, and they may bring it into reality. And I certainly want to thank my staff, Jeremy Pate, and I saw Carol and Allison and everybody that's worked on this. They make this mayor successful, and I want to thank you today publicly for that. I want to thank the city council members. I saw Adela Gray and Sarah Marsh and Rhonda Adams and Alan Long. Mark Kenyon's here. Matt Petty, Justin Tennant, Marty Schottmeyer, and for voting unanimously to preserve this. I want to thank, I saw Kit Williams here. I want to thank the city attorney who helped negotiate a lot of the contracts and things. Thank you, Kit. Last but certainly not least is the people of this great city. You know what's great about this city? This city's great because of the people. The people never lost their vision. The people said, we're going to be part of this vision. We will not let it go. We will preserve it, and you've done it. So this is your day. This is your day. This is this region's day because a great city makes a great region, and we make everything, and the wheel just goes round and round, doesn't it? So today, we cut the ribbon on a great vision and a great people and a great city and a great region. Thank you all very much. Let's cut the ribbon. Now everybody, I'm going to say three, and then we're going to cut this. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.